Don't get him out, nigga. Let him suffer. Let him squirm. Too late, nigga. He got 8. So, what up, guys? It's another video. I think it's episode 3. I don't know if the other one like loaded up, so screw it.
Way out.
Didn't hit what? Did I hit podcast?
Bro.
I think so.
And my man had no ammo. That's what pisses me off more. How does my man not have?
Because he's the main antagonist of the damn game, he can't have no ammo. Not until, like, some awkward event happens, he finds ammo out of nowhere. I'll probably get me something. Let me eat a little bit later on. It's like a damn wonderland down here. I feel like one of them old guys that like gold mine, like, yeah. The rest of them.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, okay. Oh shit, I can run. Where's the way out? Oh my god! Oh, I'm fucked! They're everywhere! I'm fucked.
No.
Fuck. Oh.
They're everywhere?
What's that?
My nigga.
Get in! That's that shit I like! Come back here, I'm ready now, come in!
I'm running in the dark. I'm running in the dark. I'm running in the dark. What's up?
There's 3. Oh my. Okay.
Oh, snips.
Shit. Oh fuck.
Right to the highway.
Bro, alright, okay,
Off my own.
Dead. Cool, dead. Sweet, bitch. Somebody dead. Do they drop ammo? No, they don't, will they?
No.
We out here. We out.
About to eat some ginger snaps and orange and carrot.
Oh, now it's open! Now it's open! Oh, Joe! No! Oh shit! Oh fuck!
Our last week and I got calls to stay away. I should come here sooner.
Psych. Haha.
I got armor! Can't stop it.
Oh,
Oh, was that night? Oh shit.
sugar honey iced tea.
Yo, give me your gun too. I got
Oh, snips.
Alright, let's let you come out.
Oh, snips.
Alright, cool. Alright, thanks, bro. My Fortnite skills.
I got you now, motherfucker, today. Don't you fuck with me,
I
motherfucker.
know something's gonna come out. Alright? It's coming. Oh shit.
I took everything away from you, motherfucker. Dirty motherfucker. Try to take me down. You will never take me down, motherfucker. I take you down.
Huh? Say it again. What? Come on. Say it again. That's what I thought, pussy. Yeah. I know you're scared, bitch. Fuck you up.
Zombie being scared, nigga. That boy's smart.
Yo, alright. Alright, bitch. What?
I'm gonna slap your mustache backwards.
Fuck down, pussy. Huh?
But, oh, we got a human act hard. What up, nigga?
Pussy.
Oh, you got a gun, huh? You think you real hard with a gun, huh?
Bitch. You don't want
I don't got no money on me, but I can generally bet that you know how to use that. But guess what? I got a secret to tell you. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Sit the fuck down. Get down. Wow, bitch.
If somebody can animate like the, I need to like find like an animator, animate that skit.
Okay, alright. What, yeah, okay.
Call it the smart ass zombie. Oh, you got a gun. Okay, that's cute. That's relatively cute and all, but shit.
I'll leave you alone.
I'll let you in a little secret. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Just for pointing that thing at me.
What? Bro, what?
Gotta have my main man Joey over here.
Bitch.
Fucking donkey punch in the back of the skull.
Yeah, so I want to eat this, bitch. How do I get my knife back? I want my gosh.
You don't get no knife, nigga. You get a rubber ducky knife. It don't hurt nobody. It just squeaks when you cut someone. That's how child safe it is.
My man's brains exploded. Anyway, guys, alright, I'm done.
What should I do?
I might do more. Maybe.
Oh,
anyway, please like, subscribe.
Okay, here's how we can do this shit. Easy. Coming at these niggas like a
I try, really try, focus on my grind. Why they wanna watch when I ain't got the time? I ain't got the time. Calling me the lyrical one, gangster. I am not a digital one. Give me the run. Let me for cool.
Alrighty, so this is my worst roommate story. So last semester, I got random new roommates. Now, one of them is fine, she's chill, whatever. Okay, the other girl though, she comes in.
Here's how you dump all this worthless crap
to be a stripper in high
over
school.
here.
She also poisoned her best friend. Yeah, I'm feeling great right now. And with her, with her luggage,
the fuck you poison your best friend like?
And a ferret. Did you know that ferrets are actually illegal in the state of California? Yeah, apparently she didn't care. She just brought a ferret in anyway. Obviously I tell, housing about this. They don't give two shits about, her animals. The only one they get rid of really is the ferret, just because it's illegal with the state. Okay, but apparently she gets to keep her snake.
How the fuck a ferret illegal in the state?
Around, our apartment, cause that's
like the least harmless little animal in the world. He ain't gonna bite nobody.
So I told you, right, that
he may rob you, but that's robbery love.
But then, one night at 1:30 a.m., she comes rolling in with a bunch of these giggly girls wearing nothing, some creepy big ass dudes. Who knows what they're doing? And then they go over. I hear a bunch of giggling. I hear some slapping. I hear some chains. Who knows what's going on in that room? And she still does that every other night. Housing never kicked her out. So I'm currently living with a crazy stripper with a pet snake who poisoned her best friend. Yay.
Well, ain't that about a son of a bitch? Every bit of gravel getting chopped up by my shovel. I meant it.
Someone's actually challenged me to see if I am a stone-faced god. There's a try not to laugh out there. Apparently it's really funny. You know what? I am a stone-faced god. I'm a stone-faced god. You know what? Let's do it, alright? No laughter. I'm taking this so serious. And if I laugh, I will do a challenge that you guys put in the comments. Just put a really dangerous challenge for me to do, and I'll do it, okay? That's only if I laugh though.
God's gonna put a cancer in the butthole. God's gonna put a cancer in the butthole of every sodomite. Every sodomite butthole will get cancer in the butthole.
Nigga, that's really off the left.
Able to sit down.
Nigga, no.
Burning in their butthole. He can't sit down. He's got a burning in his butthole. He's got a fire.
Nigga, I don't know what kind of church this is, but this is not the church for kids. I do not recommend sending your kids to this church, because they will be ass backwards, literally.
If you thought that AIDS was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet until you see the flaming butthole.
Nigga, I don't want to see a flaming butthole.
And you will not be able to sit down until you have a flame coming out of your butthole, and there'll be people walking around all over America with flames coming out of their butthole. And everyone who takes it up the rear, everyone who has a penis injected in his butthole, when that penis comes out, the flame will start burning, because ain't nobody gonna stick no penis in that flame.
That's where you were.
Eternal flame coming out of the butthole of every sodomite.
I guess it's safe to say he doesn't like gay people. Flame in the butthole! In the name of Jesus!
And he aggressively don't like gay people, nigga.
No, I mean
this is Sparta!
Nope.
Whoopsie. Stupid. What did he learn?
Babies make me laugh. Come on. I ain't laughing no baby. I got a stone-faced god.
So what's going on? Get
That's like Mondays for me. I see
Little-
that Monday. Be like, you start off like, yes, Monday. No. That's not funny. I mean, like, you guys sent me the video. That's not funny. My man's clearly autistic. It's not funny. No, my gosh. See the way my man fell. My man fell like a slingy. You know the ones that you chuck on the stairs. My man's a slingy. My man's a slingy.
He's a slingy.
It's literally like, yo, he just clotheslined the freaking chair. Got up and was like, what? I didn't fail, pussy.
Oh no.
Is that cat alright? Look at the flick of their wrist. Look at the flick of their wrist.
This is either going to work or it's not.
My man put R instead of all. Dumbass.
Hello, M48-year man from Somalia.
You know what?
Sorry for
You go right up in here. Laughing at me, it's not hell.
I feel
Coming around like I'm Kano.
with my wife for internet connection.
You can do it, man.
I can't actually sneeze.
There we go.
It's too cold. I got a cold, yeah.
Hey,
What up, man?
Nigga, you thought.
what do you call
You thought wrong.
fucking nigga?
What do you call two twats fucking? Fucking twats. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you call two man-childs fucking? Deji. Like, it's like the same thing. Like, come on. It's not funny.
My name's Scott Bradford. I'm 19. I'm gonna be 20 in like December.
What the hell? Why did my man get a pan to the head?
How do we dice an onion? Big onion. Look at that. To the good onion. Good onion is a
put that
heavy
right there.
onion. It's a 6-pound onion. It's also an onion with the onion. But this is the tip of the onion. My
man said onion. Onion. This is he put
Far
the
ass
onion
walk.
on the onion.
I'm just gonna
Oh, he
fly.
said good onion. Onion. All 6
Somebody
pound
probably might rip me in the comments.
He said good onion.
Saying, oh, you're flying.
I
I bet you 10 cents you probably, you got one friend that flies and duplicates at the same time. And it's not even for real. It's not a joke.
Cut the onion in half on the onion, and onion, then the onion with onion right here. So
That's the best thing I've ever seen. Jean-Pierre, you are great.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? A fucking cat? Hey, don't fucking look at me like that. That's a weird.
That cat again. God damn it.
Mom!
Cat
There's a
is,
stray cat outside.
that's the funniest video I've seen all year.
Starting to fight with Lucy.
Ma'am?
Lucy, it's okay. It's okay.
Yes,
Lucy.
ma'am, I will.
Mom!
Yes, ma'am, I will. It's that damn cat again.
Stray cat outside. It looks like grandma the fucking thing. Hey, get the fuck out of here.
I can't even get mad at the damn cat like that.
Oh shit, that's so funny. That's so funny. Yo, I feel so bad for laughing, man. Oh my god, yo. If you laugh at that, you're going to hell straight. I laughed too. But I guess I'll meet you in hell.
Hey, this is library.
saying with bragging, it makes him a genius. Here's my question. What kind of genius loses $1 billion in a single year?
Oh my God! Oh, yo, Hillary took all sorts of L's during her campaign. She can't even play this song. No, we don't take no L's. No, we don't take no L's. No L's! Spend 5 bucks on the tire, spend 15 on the pearls.
Am I pregnant? 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 Help? Is there a possibility that I'm pregnant? Am I pregnant or am I okay? Could I be pregnant? How do I know if I'm pregnant? Can I be pregnant? Can who get pregante? Can who bleed while who are murdered? Can who down a 20-foot water slide pregnant? How can I get my GF pregnant? What happened when get Perginat? How can a 9-year-old get pregnant? Will I get pregnant? What is the best time to sex to become pregnant? Does anyone know how many teens get pregnant a year? Are these systems of being pregnant? Girlfriend ain't had periods since she got pregnant. Is it possible having sex to a 8 months pregnant? If a woman has starch marks on her... Wait. If a woman has starch masks on her body, does that mean she has been pregnant before? Period, question mark. I circle as normal, but yet I still don't get pregnant. What can I use? Period, question mark. Has anybody got pregnant by just pre-cum while using birth control? Did most you women feel pregnant before find out? I am pregnant last 5 weeks, so can I start sex? Dangerous. Pregnant.
That's fine. That's fine. Alright, I lost. Okay. Alright, yeah. Alright. Okay. Calm the fuck down. Put in the comments what I should do. But nothing too crazy. Alright? Think of me. Put me into perspective. Don't say drink bleach. I am not going to drink bleach. Okay? Something. Alright, anyway, I'm done.
I go pussy shine cut for my line. And I try, really try, focus on my grind. Why they wanna watch when I ain't got the time?
Well. Shut the hell up! Beat. Oh my will. Seen daddy do. Nani? Let's see what's on the agenda. Horror movies come true. Let's go ahead and look that up. Scary things on my thing. Catch it all up in the ring. Hit a nigga, zing zing. Don't give a dang about your ping ping. Oh yeah. Time come. Okay, put the fishing rod up. Nice.
Now, I'm an adamant believer that horror films don't cause crimes, just like video games don't make you want to steal a car or rob a bank. Well, at least that's me anyway. But a few of these numbers on our list certainly challenge that belief. With a genre as bloodthirsty as horror, it's not far reach to imagine that some unstable minds might find solace in an on-screen serial killer or vampire. So today on Top 5 Scary Videos, we're going to be listing off the 5 scary horror movies that came true. Before we begin, be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll be responding to your comments. Let's jump in. What have you done to it? In a fire Saw. There are 8 films in the Saw franchise, each focusing on gruesome and bloody ways to torture a human being in order to judge their moral compass. The sadistic killer Jigsaw sets up torturous challenges for each new victim, mutilating themselves in order to earn freedom, or a slow and painful death. We all know the story, but in a shocking turn of events, it crossed over from fiction into reality in 2009 when 2 teenage boys, 14 and 15, were charged with 3 counts of conspiracy to commit aggravated kidnapping after someone overheard the boys planning to kidnap, torture, and murder a group of people. They had planned to set up a series of Saw-style games for each of their targets in order to teach them a lesson for supposedly harming others. They had even set up cameras to document their games, much like the sadistic killer does in the Saw movies. In at 4, The Conjuring. We're all familiar with the Conjuring films, especially on this channel. Two paranormal investigators and demonologists, Ed and Lorraine Warren, summoned to the home of the parents after a supernatural presence had made itself known. It's a frightening tale, but more frightening still, the actors in the film were subjects of weird goings-on during filming. During the making of the film, the real family visited the set several times, but Carolyn, the mother, refused to set foot anywhere near the set. Various bizarre happenings began to occur. While the parent family were visiting, strong winds seemed to surround them, even during still days when no trees were blowing. During this time, Carolyn was sat at home in Atlanta and reported feeling an evil presence in her home before she fell and was taken to the hospital. Even the director, James Wan, reported strange goings-on, saying that one night while working late in his office, his dog
keep getting the same cat.
He investigated but found nothing, yet the dog continued, staring into a corner at some unseen entity. Not long after, the dog's head began to move, as though following something across the room. In at 3, Scream. In 1996, Scream was released, one of the many trailblazers in the slasher subgenre. It was an instant classic. Although a somewhat comedic film, it surprisingly inspired a few real-life events shortly after its release. In 1998, Mario Padilla, a 16-year-old, and his 14-year-old cousin confessed to the stabbing of Gina Castillo, Padilla's mother. The 14-year-old confessed to holding her down while Padilla stabbed her 45 times. The crime was referred to as the Scream murder, after they confessed to being inspired by the film, wanting to go on a murder spree, even purchasing 2 ghost face masks to see in the films, as well as a voice changer. In at 2, Queen of the Damned. Released in 2002, Queen of the Damned follows the legendary vampire Lestat, who has reinvented himself as an American rock star in the music scene, awakening Acacia, the queen of all vampires, from her slumber. She vowed to make Lestat her king. However, during this time, a young woman from London falls in love with the rock star vampire, creating quite the pickle. Now, in 2002, Alan Menzies murdered his friend Thomas McKendrick after Menzies claimed he had been visited one night by Acacia, the female vampire from the film, who had supposedly offered him eternal life as a vampire if he killed the people she told him to. Once Menzies murdered McKendrick with a hammer, he drank his blood and ate his flesh, before burying him in a shallow grave. Now, it's clear that he was inspired by the film.
I know.
That he had watched it up to 100 times before committing the vile acts. And finally, in at number 1, Rosemary's Baby. Released in 1968 and directed by Roman Polanski, Rosemary's Baby focuses on a pregnant woman who believes her husband has made a pact with a Satan-worshipping cult, offering up their unborn child as a sacrifice. Now, in 1969...
Why do you like my baby, man?
His pregnant wife, Sharon Tate, was left at their LA home with a few friends, and on the evening August 8th, they were viciously murdered by members of the Manson family, under instruction of Charles Manson. Now, I'm not saying that Manson was inspired by Polanski's film, but it's certainly an odd coincidence, considering Tate was due to give birth to
getting on my nerves now.
brutally murdered. Well, there we have it. What do you guys think? Did you know about these crimes? Were there any that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. Before I go, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos. Top 5 scary demons you can actually summon. Frank Pitt said, "Damn,
like
Lucy,
3, y'all.
where have you been all my
I probably need like 2 dogs
in the
at
dark
least.
depths of the underworld, Frank, that's well." Red Dragon said, "You only had 2 demons on this list. The others were scary games. What the f*** is up with this list?" Well, Red Dragon, the games I listed allow you to summon demons, hence why they are on this list. Please pay attention. James McKinnon said, "This video would be much more effective if you demonstrated at least 1 summoning." Well, James, according to you guys, I'm already creepy enough. I think summoning a demon would push you all over the edge. Don Barker said, "Is it just me, or is your camera overexposing your face?" Actually, Don, no, I am just that pale. And finally, Andrew Richard said, "You seem to use your hands a lot. Not a bad thing, I quite like it. Are you from the UK? If so, where?" Well, as you can tell, Andrew, I'm not actually a hand talker, but put me in front of a camera and they just have a mind of their own. And yes, I am from the UK, originally Hertfordshire. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. Until next time, see you later.
job, you're approved. We don't do that. Now this baby never had any study damage.
We don't do that.
Full mileage, basically brand new.
We don't do that because we're Northwoods Automotive. We do our best to give you the kind of car buying experience you want. Hundreds of vehicles starting as low as $2,000. We do that. 18-month service contracts. We do that. You buy here, you pay here because we are the bank.
Now, it's pretty plain to see that you guys absolutely love the end of the world. The apocalypse, Ragnarok, Yom Al-Kippur, the big rip, the big crunch, the big bounce, or the big freeze, the sermon of the seven sons, or the great tribulation. Whichever way you want to spin it, it's most commonly chalked up as a very bad thing. But luckily for us, that fantastic fictional place, known only as the SCP Foundation, is brimming with apocalyptic scenarios that will happily bring ruin to humanity in a myriad of XK-class extinction events. So much so that we figured we'd do a part 2. What's the worst that could happen? Hey, hello horror fans and welcome back to the Scariest channel on YouTube, top 5 scary videos. As per usual, I'll be your horror host Jack Finch as we charge once more into the fray and take a look at the top 5 scariest SCPs that can end the world. Part 2. Roll the clip.
No.
Well, it's the 4th of July.
For the curious amongst you, that clip was from 2005's The War of the Worlds by Steven Spielberg. That actually is a pretty damn decent flick, and I'm not quite sure why it gets so much hate. I'm pretty sure it's impossible to make a bad movie when H.G. Wells is your source material. Anyway, forget about that. Kicking off at number 5, SCP-2700. And really, this should be at the top of our list in terms of calamity, but we recently covered it in our cursed SCP items list, so no, get to the back of the line, SCP-2700. As we said in our other list, stock for stock, this item is potentially the most devastatingly powerful item in the entirety of the SCP Foundation's arsenal. As the record states, SCP-2700 is a complex mechanical device believed to be a vessel of sophisticated directed energy. The device itself consists of 3 components: the interface, the accelerator, and the core, and it was developed by the legendary Serbian physicist and renowned inventor Nikola Tesla. Yes, exactly, the Nikola Tesla. On the surface, the Foundation portrays this ingenious object as merely a miraculous relic left over from the legendary inventor's legacy. But as is the same with many things in the SCP Foundation, all is not as it may seem. To boil it down, SCP-2700 is a weapon of such immensely insane power that a single firing wouldn't just destroy all life on planet Earth, it would destroy all life in the universe. Well, I say destroy in the most
My name is Ahmad Bani, and I'm CEO and co-founder of Ministry of Supply. We've been working with Mute 6 for about 4 months now, and it's just been absolutely incredible. In our first call with their team, they kind of had this idea that brand marketing and direct response marketing needed to be one and the same. It was really appealing to us as a company that wants to build a great brand, but also needs to sell product. Mute 6 is creative, and their creativity kind of shows through most in the way that they work with us and work with our ideas. As a creative company, we have a lot of ideas on how we want things done, and they're able to capture that in an overarching sentiment and turn that into a usable campaign product that we're really happy with. Mute 6 is unique. I think they're a pretty special type of agency where I think that you enter relationships like that with a very clear set of here's what we want to put in, here's what we want to get out. And I think they've approached it much more from the sense of how can we help your brand, and I think that's a pretty unique approach. But we also like that they participate in the content side, so they do a lot of the kind of last mile of content creation. And it's tailored to the audiences that they're looking at, which is pretty special for us, where we get to give them raw ideas or content and they can finish it and put it on the market. We've looked at different types of content that we otherwise might not have without them, and as a result we've seen a tremendous uptick in sales through the platform and through their efforts. I think a lot of other agencies we had little to no contact with as campaigns ran, and so that was a big problem for us because as an agile company we want to make changes on the fly, have direct contact with the content being generated, and also make decisions as quickly as possible. With Mute 6, they allow us to make decisions quickly, allow us to send them feedback in real time, and they act on that really quickly as well, which is a huge benefit for us. The overall vibe that they create for our brand,
I'll take all your carrots, nigga.
Overwhelmingly positive. I think we really appreciate the kind of balance between rational and emotional with Mute 6. I think they're a company and an organization whose team is looking both at the actual emotional side of product. They wear our product, they like our product,
they go to our store, but also the very rational side of exactly what audiences are converting at what point and what time, and how that might improve over time. So they're always thinking both of the kind of art of product and selling it, but also the science of advertising effectively. Our conversation with them isn't just about, return on ad spend. It's not just about exactly what's performing and where. It's a wider conversation about the types of content we want to pursue and the messages we want to put out there. It's an ongoing conversation that has evolved a lot over time, and we've appreciated the kind of human approach to advertising.
Tentative term, because a better word would be reset. SCP-2700 behaves inversely regards to entropy, and if you fire this weapon, it would cause a chain reaction that essentially causes a reverse Big Bang. Maybe the universe would completely reset itself, maybe it wouldn't. I don't really want to find out. Do you? Coming in at number 4, SCP-990. And I love this skip because SCP-990 reminds me of both the Observer from Fringe and the conspiracy suits from the X-Files, except this guy is a little more forthcoming with his mysterious intentions. SCP-990 is one of the few items in their canon that the Foundation isn't entirely sure whether he's trying to help humanity or destroy us all entirely. Currently, there is no known containment procedure for SCP-990 for one simple reason. He only appears in dreams. Essentially, he's a much more stylish Freddy Krueger, sorry Freddy, just with less claws and even less plastic reality. As the record states, SCP-990 generally appears as a human male dressed in a Cold War era business suit who appears to Foundation personnel through the power of dreams. So far, no members of the Foundation have encountered this guy in the real world, and if he corresponds to an actual physical human being, then he's yet to be found. Essentially, 990 appears with the intention to warn people of disastrous events, and anything that he warns of inevitably comes true. Now, the Foundation aren't sure whether he's actually causing these events or just being a good dream Samaritan, but his most startling revelation is the end of the world, and his warning is focused on a yet-to-be-revealed SCP. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. Next up at number 3, SCP-001, When Day Breaks. Now, this is an interesting one because if you know anything about the SCP Foundation, you'll know that their first entry in their archives, SCP-001, is ambiguous in its origin and is made up of over 20 different entries, all of which may or not be the real SCP-001. Sound a bit confusing? Well, essentially, SCP-001 is brimming with potential red herrings to keep the Foundation's motivations and goals a secret. One of these is SCP-001 SD Lock's proposal, also known as When Day Breaks, and if it is a genuine entry, then we're all kind of screwed, in the worst possible way. As the record states, When Day Breaks is an Apollyon-class object that, due to its nature, cannot be contained. It is the designation given to our sun after an undisclosed event resulted in over 6.8 billion casualties with the first 24 hours. 001 is the exposure to ultraviolet rays that upon contact liquefy living organisms, with the effect spreading until the entire organism is converted, visually being similar to melting wax. Essentially, if you step out into the sunlight during the events of 001, you turn into a gelatinous mass, and inevitably, when you make contact with another biological organism, you combine and blend at molecular level. Picture our world right now, but everything is made out of wax. I mean, everything. Then turn the heat up really, really high, and then everything wants to kill you. That's what SCP-001 would look like.
Stupid.
And it's not pretty. Swinging in at number 2, SCP-2935. And conceptually, this is one of my favourite SCPs in the whole Foundation, although it's also perhaps the most bleak, so go figure. As the record states, SCP-2935 is a space-time anomaly that exists within a limestone cave beneath a cemetery near Joppa, Indiana. The anomaly in question is a nearly exact replica reality of modern Earth in the year 2016, with one quite significant difference. All life, both biological and non-biological, as well as any sentient entities, machines, computers, and other lifelike phenomena, ended on April 20th, 2016. All life forms within 2935 suddenly and without warning expired sometime between the hours of 3 AM and 4 AM Eastern Time, the reason for which is currently uncertain. When I say all life, I mean all life. Even the alternate reality version of SCP-682, as in the harsh reptile who can withstand any destructive effect, even he died. As it turns out, though, there is a little bit more to this story, and it appears that the events of SCP-2935 happened after an SCP agent known as Keller entered this Earth from an alternative reality, but unbeknownst to him, was himself an anomalous entity that, when exposed to another version of reality, brings about the end of all life. As SCP-2935 explains, Keller was caught in in a time loop, and every other version of himself was destined to enter the same space-time anomaly at some point. To stop this, he nuked himself as well as the mobile task force accompanying him to bring an end to the time loop and stop the same effects spreading to our version of reality. What a hero. And thankfully, the Foundation filled the hole with cement and just tried to forget about the whole thing. And finally, our number one spot, SCP-610. And of course, it has to be the classic scenario, a deadly pathogenic infection that could potentially spread across the planet and bring an end to all life as we know it. Although that would be the kind scenario, because it doesn't exactly bring an end to all life, it seeks to consume it and turn it into a fleshy, amorphous mass of skin and limbs and eyes. There's a reason why this entry is nicknamed the Flesh That Hates, and you're about to find out exactly why. As the record states on first look, 610 appears to be a contagious skin disease with symptoms including a rash, itching, and increased skin sensitivity. Within 3 hours of exposure, the disease will cause blemishes resembling heavy scar tissue that within 5 hours completely consumes the victim. The victim then appears to expire but will restart after several minutes, where the scar tissue on the victim's
like smell all this other stuff.
Then begin to move on its own accord and grow at a rapid rate. Victims have been observed growing extra limbs, elongating their heads, and splitting apart parts of their bodies where additional branches of flesh will grow. The thing is though, once infected, 610 seeks to aggressively spread itself over the nearest surfaced area, searching for other biological organisms that it can add to its mass. 610's only motivation is to consume the planet into one writhing, limb-filled mass of flesh. 7 billion people's worth. That's like an ocean's worth of flesh. Well, there we have it, horror fans. Do you think we missed any SCPs that can end the world? Why don't you let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Before we depart though, you know how it is. We've got some comments to get through, and a lot of you have been asking for shout-outs lately, so let's just do it. Quick time. Sam Suave says, Top 5 Scary Vids is my favourite channel. Could I get a shout-out? You got it, Sam Suave. Tara Kennedy says, can I please get a shout out? And then several emojis. Well, you got it, Tara. Shout out delivered. And thanks for saying please. Good manners can always go a long way. Samantha South says, please give me a shout out. Love your videos. Damn, 2 pleases in a row. You got it, Samantha. Glad to have you on board. And finally, Jennifer K. Luckett says, hey Jack, my birthday is Jan 30th and I was wondering if you'd give me a shout out. I would really appreciate it. Well, Jennifer, unfortunately, by the time this video is up, your birthday will have passed. But if it makes you feel any better, it's the 30th today.
What up, nigga? Square up, homie.
Wish you happy birthday in real time. Happy birthday.
Don't bubble at me. Square up.
Unfortunately, horror fans, that's all we've got time for today's
like
video.
Like a ninja in the water now.
Wait until the end. If you're a fan of this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as that subscribe bell, and we'll be seeing you in the next one. As per usual, I've been your horror host, Jack Finch. You've been watching Top 5 Scary Videos, and until next time, you take it easy.
That's how we pig hunt. There's mine. I could take some of these little flowers right here. What the?
Hello guys, what is happening? I'm your host Eamon Hassan, and welcome back to another video over here at Most Amazing Top 10. Now I for one love horror movies, but I'd be
hey yo dog, you wanna be my dog?
Delights out of me. It's a love-hate relationship. Now you may be someone who likes paranormal movies but hates jump scares. You may be someone who likes possession movies, or you may be that one person who'd rather stare at a wall for 2 hours than watch a horror movie. There's something for everyone in this genre, I assure you. But before we get into it guys, I know I don't need to remind you because I trust you, but if you do enjoy these videos and it quenches your thirst for horror for the week, then make sure to hit the subscribe button below and subscribe to Top 10 Hinty videos as well to be notified when we post new content.
Like
Without further ado, this is the Top 10 Scariest Horror Movies coming out in 2019. Starting us off at number 10 is The Curse of La Llorona. And being 100% transparent with you guys, I watched the trailer of this movie on mute with my hand over my mouth and my heart beating at least 3 times faster than normal. I feel like scary movies are always less scary when you can't hear the people's screams or the suspenseful music in the background, or you know, when you just can't see what's going on at all. Anyway, The Curse of La Llorona, or The Curse of the Weeping Woman, is a supernatural horror film marking Michael Chavez's directorial debut. It's releasing in April and follows a social worker worker called Ana Garcia and her 2 children. She's investigating a case of foul play when she realizes there's a lot of resemblance between the case and what seems to be troubling her family. The weeping woman was a ghost
what up, nigga?
American folklore.
Cow slap.
Children and therefore
cow slap. Cow slap. What up?
As revenge and
what up? I'm slapping cows with swords and stuff.
She's latched onto Anna and her
What's
kids
up? Well, say something.
until she steals both her children.
I'll slap a cow in the
weeping
face.
woman had to be wearing a wedding dress and veil because it just adds to the creepiness, and of course her face had to be warped as hell. Great. Coming in at number 9, we have Us. Now this is a psychological horror film coming out in March of this year, starring Academy Award winner Lupita Nyong'o, Elizabeth Moss, and Winston Duke, to name a few of the cast, and it's directed by Jordan Peele. The plot follows Lupita and Winston taking their kids to a beach house with some friends for a relaxing getaway. All is going well, but unbeknown to them, they have a group of strangers following them. And not just any random group of strangers. The group shows up outside the house the family is staying in, and when they're revealed, they seem to be the family's own doppelgangers. They're messed up, slightly demonic, murder-thirsty doppelgangers.
Yo, we got
what
kind of mansion this
Whether
is?
the real family comes out on top or the doppelganger family, well, we're gonna have to watch to find out. But the trailer is riveting to say the least. Like, imagine going against an evil version of yourself who is as strong and smart as you, but is also evil with powers. You'd be screwed. I'm interested to know how they get out of it and how many people die in the process.
Gecko gang.
Escape Room. Now this one is
coming at these niggas in the chopper range.
It came out a month ago, but it still counts as 2019, and the movie still seems scary as hell, so I had to include it. Directed by Adam Robitel, who also directed Insidious: The Last Key. Like the title suggests, the movie follows a group of people who enter an escape room. Now I literally went to an escape room last weekend, so I was watching this trailer and I was just like, oh my god, just imagine that was happening to me. But anyway, the group unseemingly enters the room, realizing the dangers of the room are real, and there are no hints. If you've not been to an escape
I'm in your corner. What's up?
What's up? Monitoring you, who you can ask for hints if you get stuck. However, in the movie, they were all on their own. The perpetrators gathered an astounding amount of information on each person.
Anybody here? Oh shit, ugly. You ugly.
The escape room to reflect the person's past. All in all, the aim isn't just to escape, it's to stay alive. Well, I feel like that's
anybody
the
here?
slogan of the movie, Go Me. But since it's come out already, it's been deemed a success based on box office profit, and audiences have graded it a B on Cinema Score, which honestly isn't bad for a horror film. Filling our number 7 slot is The New Mutants. Now this movie is actually based off the graphic Marvel novels that go by the same name, and the series is a spin-off from X-Men, hence the whole mutants focus. The New Mutants is releasing this summer and follows a group of mutants who are being held in a secret facility and have had to fight in order to escape from the area.
Why are you coming after? Don't put your axe, nigga.
Wow, how many times am I saying facility? But anyway, the medical facility seems like it's a very weird
diamond sword.
Creepy, scary occurrences that drive the kids a little bit crazy and make them realize there's a lot more than what meets the eye to this place, and they're gonna have to use their own powers in order to escape. This is the first Marvel movie I've personally heard of that's a superhero horror film, and I think that's a very interesting crossover to explore. And of course, Marvel has a huge fan base, and so many people have probably already read the comics, I'm sure, and are eagerly awaiting the movie. It has Game of Thrones' Maisie Williams as Wolfsbane, Stranger Things' Charlie Heaton as Cannonball, 13 Reasons Why's Henry Zaga, and it even has a cameo appearance from Antonio Banderas as an unnamed villain. So a star-studded Marvel superhero horror film, what's not to like? Now at number 6 is The Prodigy, directed by Nicholas McCarthy and starring Jackson Robert Scott and Orange is the New Black's Taylor Schilling. The movie focuses on their son Miles, who is very gifted intellectually. And I feel like every year without fail there's a horror movie centering around a young kid. And how can someone so small and cute be so goddamn scary? Miles starts off very promising, excelling at school and learning things very quickly, but he starts developing too fast. His parents begin taking him to a therapist, but his behavior starts taking a turn for the worse and becomes more sinister and dangerous as the film goes on. His parents start to think a demonic possession may be behind his behavior and try their best to get to the bottom of what's going on before it's too late. Dun dun dun. And conveniently enough, the movie comes out in 2 days, so if you do end up going to watch it, let me know what you guys thought. Coming in at number 5, we have Pet Sematary, which is based off the Stephen King book of the same name. Yes, I know it sounds cute because who thinks horror when they hear the word pet? But believe me, this movie is far from cute. The movie centers around a family who moved to a new house which is located near a forest. Side note, but number one, why is this trope in every horror movie? And two, why do these families ever think moving to a secluded house in the middle of nowhere near a forest is a good idea? The family hears the tales of how kids used to dare each other to go into the forest, and obviously from the name, they also buried pets there. But there is a twist. There's something in the forest, something that makes things come back to life. That's never a good sign, ever. Things get weirder and weirder as things start showing up in the family's house, terrorizing the family, and overall making you piss your bed at night. If this hasn't already convinced you to go watch it, need I remind you that Stephen King, our resident king of everything horror, can do no wrong and never fails to make your heart skip 20 beats. So definitely go see.
If you got a big, let me search it.
We'll see it. At number 4 is Glass. Quite a normal, non-scary name for a horror film, don't you think? But I'd categorize this as half horror, half thriller. And yes, this movie also came out 3 weeks ago as well, but it's such a good one that I am going to include it. This is going to be the last installment to the unexpectedly created East Trail 177 trilogy, which features Unbreakable and Split before it. I, for one, haven't seen Unbreakable because I was like 4 when it came out, but oh my god, guys, if you haven't seen Split, you need to watch it. Stop what you're doing, find the link online, get your popcorn out, and sit your ass down. James McAvoy as Kevin is so extremely versatile, it genuinely blows my mind. I mean, you have to be, otherwise no one would believe you have 23 alternate personalities. Talk about two-faced. Glass combines the cast of both films enter Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. We follow Sarah Paulson, aka Ellie Staple, a psychiatrist who specializes in people who believe they're superheroes. David Dunn spends the course of the film basically fighting the beast personality within Kevin, and Mr. Glass is an orchestrator of sorts. Staple tries to convince them throughout the movie that they aren't people with superhuman abilities and goes to great lengths to do so. All three eventually escape from the facility and a lot of fighting and death and revelations ensue. I don't want to reveal too much and ruin it for people who haven't seen it, but it is very good. Number 3 on
you over there.
To 2. You heard me, the sequel has been greenlit, so we'll be expecting Pennywise back on our screens in September. Honestly, his
September.
Every time
My
I pass a
birthday.
gutter in the street, so I don't even know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that a sequel's coming. The sequel takes place 27 years after the first one, with a new star-studded cast portraying the older Losers Club, like Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Isaiah Mustafa, but worry not, the younger Losers Club will still return for the sequel as well, which obviously hints that we may have some time hops or flashbacks taking place. The Losers Club returns to Derry once and for all to defeat this horrific shape-shifting clown who's been hibernating, rebuilding his strength, and waiting for them to return so he can enact his revenge once and for all after his colossal defeat 27 years prior. Although I'm scared to death of this movie, I'm gonna watch it. Number 2 is none other than Child's Play, and come on guys, you know I had to include at least one possessed doll movie on this list. For everyone who doesn't know, the original Child's Play came out in 1988 and featured the manic serial killer doll Chucky. Ring a bell? I feel like people these days definitely know of Chucky. They know he's an evil killer doll, but no one actually knows the original movie's called Child's Play and not Chucky. But then obviously came all the sequels like Child's Play 2 and 3, Bride of Chucky, etc. So finally, 30 years later, they're remaking the original movie and it's set to release in June. I'm not going to say much since the premise of the first movie is pretty obvious, but the Barkley family happens upon a murderous doll and, well, the rest is history. Coming in with a bang at number 1 is The Crooked Man. Now this is a spin-off slash sequel focusing on the backstory of the Crooked Man, taken from the scariest scene from The Conjuring 2, if I do say so myself. Like, seriously. I apologize on the behalf of the director to whoever watched The Conjuring 2 at night when they were home alone. Full disclosure, I'm pretty sure I refused to sleep alone for a full week. First, The Conjuring 2 made me piss my pants, then The Nun came out, and now I'm never gonna visit a monastery in my life. The Crooked Man is a character inspired and made from the nursery rhyme There Was a Crooked Man. And the rhyme is weird and slightly sad, but the character is even more horrific. I'm serious, guys. When the movie comes out, heed my advice and do not watch it alone. Bring your friends, bring your grandparents, bring an auntie, heck, even bring your cat. This one is one you won't want to miss, for real. So guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I I know I definitely did, even though my heartbeat is low-key off the charts right now, just thinking about all these movies. Let me know which movie you're most looking forward to in 2019, whether it was on today's list or not, and if I didn't mention it, I'd still love to check it out. And if you've watched the 2 that are already out, what are your thoughts? Do you recommend them or not? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below, guys, for more videos, and as always, I've been your host, Eamon Hassan, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Oh, we got a sand village, okay. It's something in it. Good.
Play on PS4 Pro.
Listen up, you maggots. We're gonna take that bunker if Private Lewis, what is it? Just what?
It's your eyes, sir. I never noticed how blue they were.
Appreciate every detail with PS4 Pro.
I didn't understand how blue they were.
Welcome back, guys, to Most Amazing Top 10. My name's Danny Burke. Do you remember when I talked about scary stories that are extra scary because they're also true? That video up here got a lot of good feedback from everyone. I don't know what it is that you guys like about being scared so much, but you really do love it. So fear not. I am back with more terrifying truths with the top 10 scary stories that are real, part 2. Starting off at number 10, we have the
Where is the black? Oh,
in 1994, Gloria Ramirez was rushed to hospital with breathing problems and ended up dying from heart and kidney failure. While they were trying to save her, the ER staff inserted an IV drip into her and drew some blood. They said it smelled like ammonia, and some people reported her skin being covered in a strange oily layer. The nurse then noticed strange particles floating in the blood. Soon, she fainted. Then the doctor left the room, sat down, and also fainted. Next, a respiratory therapist in the room fainted. People started dropping like flies. When they woke up, they couldn't stop shaking and their skin felt like it was on fire. The ones who were closest to Gloria Ramirez ended up being hospitalized for days, but out of the 37 emergency room staff members, 23 of them experienced some of these strange symptoms. Scientists have struggled to put forward a theory as to why Gloria Ramirez's body was just so toxic and how fumes from her blood were just so dangerous. Coming at number 9 now, we have The Watcher. In 2014, a family in Westfield, New Jersey were forced to flee their brand new $1.3 million home after receiving letters from someone who called themselves The Watcher. Now, The Watcher had told the new family that the home had been in his family for decades and that they were put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. Now, if that doesn't sound creepy enough, wait till you hear this. The Watcher then asked if the family's children had found walls yet. And also said, I am pleased to know your names now and the names of the young blood you have brought to me. Quite rightly, the family left soon after that, and the police never found out who the Watcher really was. No new letters have been sent, and it's thought the Watcher is just waiting to watch the new arrivals. Next up at number 8 now, we have Heaven's Gate. In 1974, a group called Heaven's Gate formed in the United States. They believed the Earth was about to be recycled. All life would apparently be wiped out, and the only way for them to be saved was to evacuate the planet and get onto a spacecraft that was traveling behind an approaching comet. How? By committing mass suicide. This UFO would then apparently take their souls to a level of existence above human. On March 26, 1997, their bodies were found at a rented California ranch. 38 members had killed themselves by taking a lethal cocktail. Police found all of them lying neatly in their own bunk beds. Their faces were covered with a square purple cloth. All of them had black sweatpants and joggers on, brand new Nike shoes and armband patches that said Heaven's Gate Away Team. This was not a joke. Tapes that they had recorded before the mass suicide can be found on YouTube right now. Coming in at number 7, we have Facebook from Beyond the Grave. In 2014, Reddit user Nate SW shared a very chilling story. On the 7th of August 2012, his girlfriend Emily was killed in a car crash. They had been dating for 5 years. 13 months passed. And then, on September 4th, 2013, he got a Facebook message message from her. At first, Nathan presumed it was from Emily's mother, who he had given the Facebook password to. A few more months passed, and then the messages continued again, making references to some of their past conversations. Then he started getting notifications from her where she would tag herself in his pictures in empty spaces where she should have been. No matter how many times he changed the password, the messages just kept coming. Eventually, she started to say she was cold, really cold. She was freezing and didn't know what was happening to her. To this day, Nathan still doesn't know if this was some sort of sick joke or a chilling message from beyond the grave. In at number 6 now, we have Joseph Metheny. Before our story even begins, Joseph had already killed 10 people in a number of different grisly ways. The victims were usually crack cocaine addicts or prostitutes that he would hack to death with an axe under a bridge. One witness, who was just fishing nearby, got beaten to death with a steel pipe simply for just seeing a murder take place. Joseph was still not caught, and so he opened his own burger stand. Like you do. Now, whenever he killed a new prostitute, he would use the meat in his burgers that he would sell to people. When he was eventually caught and arrested, Metheny told police, "I would also sell real roast beef and pork sandwiches. They were very good. The human body taste was very similar to pork. If you mix it together, no one can tell the difference." Next up, at number 5 now, we have the cell phone stalker. In 2007, a family in Washington State started getting unwelcome calls on their phones. Throughout the night, the calls threatened to kill their children, the grandparents, and the pets, and creepily, they would also get voicemails of their own private conversations, and even one where they were talking to a police detective about this whole thing. Disturbingly, when the phone call's origins were traced, they seemed to come from the family's own phones, even when they were switched off. Their phone company said this should not be possible. At one point, even the neighbor got a call. She was apparently slicing limes in her kitchen when the stalker called and said he preferred lemons. No matter how many times they changed their phones, the calls just kept coming. The stalker was never caught, and in the end, the family said if they go a day without a call, that's a good day. Okay, moving on to the number 4 spot now, we have the girl in the box. In 1977, 20-year-old Colleen Stan was kidnapped while hitchhiking from her home in Oregon. Her captors, Cameron and Janice Hooker, took her to the Californian hills and kept her in a literally coffin-like box. Colleen would often spend 23 hours in this box at a time, only being allowed out to be beaten, raped, and tortured. This went on for 7 years, from 1977 until 1984. At that point, Janice Hooker, one of the captors, finally went to the police and told them everything. Colleen was rescued, reunited with her family, and underwent a lot of therapy to try and live a normal life again. I'm amazed that anyone could do that after spending 7 years locked in a coffin for sometimes 23 hours a day. Next up at number 3, we have the Hinterkaifeck murder. In 1922, an entire family living at the Hinterkaifeck farm in Germany were killed by wounds from a pickaxe. The parents, widowed daughter, her children, and even the housekeeper were all found dead. 4 of them were in the barn and 2 of them were in their beds. Here's the really creepy thing. The murderer apparently continued to live at the farm with the family's dead bodies there for some time afterwards. Police knew this because when they arrived, the animals were still being fed. Neighbors apparently saw smoke coming from the chimney, and also the dog was tied up outside the barn. It gets even creepier. Before their murders, the family had reported hearing footsteps in the attic, seeing footprints in the snow that led from the woods to the house, but not back the other way. And they also saw claw marks on the door of the tool shed where they kept the pickaxe that was used to kill them. The crime was never solved. Coming in at number 2 now, we have The Waking Dead. This story comes from Honduras, where a girl called Nacy Perez went into a panic attack after hearing gunshots. When she started foaming at the mouth, a priest was called to exorcise her of an evil spirit. Soon though, she was pronounced dead in hospital and buried in her wedding dress at the cemetery. A day after the funeral, her husband was visiting her grave when he heard banging and screaming coming from in inside the concrete tomb. A graveyard worker confirmed hearing the exact same thing. The family arrived, smashed open the tomb and took her to hospital. Her cousin said she put her hand on her body and she was still warm. She had scratches on her forehead and bruises on her fingers. It looked like she had tried desperately to get out of the casket and had hurt herself. She was pronounced dead again at the hospital and buried for a second time. Some people say she didn't actually die the first time and instead might have woken up inside the coffin and died from lack of oxygen. And finally now, at number 1, we have Rodney Alcala. This man is a convicted rapist and serial killer who has been sentenced to death for the murder of 5 women between 1978 and 1979. The scary thing is, it's thought he could have killed as many as 50. Right in the middle of this killing spree, Rodney Alcala was accepted as a contestant on the dating game TV show where men compete for a date with a bachelorette. In the TV footage, it's incredibly disturbing to see this man flirting with women as he had just killed 2 women recently.
Okay, this was kind of hard because...
Not long after, Rodney Alcala would go on to kill 2 more women. Horrifyingly, he actually beat the other contestants. The only sliver of light in this dark story is the fact that the woman that he won the date with eventually refused to go on the date with him because she found him creepy. I hope someone studied her superhuman senses because that woman was on the ball. Well guys, what do you think of all of those? Are you creeped out? Do you want a part 3? Perhaps? What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you in your lives? I'll join you in the comment section for this one to hear your stories, and because I trust that you guys are telling the truth, I might even put it in the next part. Who knows? You've been watching my Top 10 guys. My name's Danny Burke, and I'll see you in the next video.
What the fucker?
Zaxby's boneless wings meal with Caribbean jerk sauce for just $5.99. Try it with any of our other 9 delicious sauces.
You wanna test my gangster, nigga? You wanna test my gangster? Huh?
Welcome back guys, I am Danny Burke, and ages ago on this channel we did a couple of videos where I told you guys scary stories that were, to the best of my knowledge, 100% true. I saw a lot of you guys in the comments love them. I know many of you like hearing creepy stories, but for some reason we never made any more videos on it. That was a mistake, but I am here to fix that now with the top 10 scary stories that are real, part 3. Alright guys, a lot of these stories came from Reddit, so if you liked these you can find more there, just like at number 10 from user Mom Says I'm Pretty. They said that when they were a kid, they were sleeping with their mom one night in her bed when they woke up in the middle of the night to see their cat sitting in the bedroom doorway. He walked towards them and meowed. They turned to face their mother and tried to wake her up. It took a few seconds, but when she finally did, they looked back and there, across the hallway in their own bedroom door, they saw a man walking slowly out of the room. They were on the first floor, so their mother threw them out of the window where they ran to a neighbor and called 911. The house was totally locked when they went to sleep, and police said they think the man had been hiding in the house until nighttime. Alright, coming in at number 9 now. Reddit user SkyShadow42 told a story about how his wife's grandmother was walking back from the library one day where she volunteered at. About halfway along the wooded walk, she noticed someone behind her. Soon, the man was right up close to her. He started matching her pace. She started to panic, but she knew she was almost home. She was just 100 yards away, and she could feel his breath on the back of her neck. When suddenly, it happens. He puts his hand on her shoulder and says in a sinister voice, "Okay, don't turn around and hand over your purse or I'll cut you." Doesn't sound the same coming from me. She stops, she steps forward, she turns around and shoots him in the neck with a gun that she's always kept in her purse. This was Texas. The man died in a hospital prison 5 years later, and the family was left with a pretty scary story to tell everyone. Next up at number 8, Reddit user Lenny AK told the story of being a little kid living in Eastern Europe. One day, when he and his cousin were about 8 or 9 years old, they were walking through the woods. Suddenly, in the bushes, they saw a man just standing there. He had his back towards them and was wearing nothing but underwear, dress shoes, and a watch. They froze and stared at him. He must have heard them because he began...
vegetables. But we have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. There's no salt. There is no salt in the house. I've looked everywhere, in the kitchen, in the cupboard, nothing. No salt whatsoever. So what am I gonna do? I could go to Tesco's. Oh wait, I can't. It's too late. Tesco's is closed. Maybe Sainsbury's. No, Sainsbury's is closed as well. So where am I gonna get salt? Actually, I know a place where there's plenty of salt. The gaming community. The gaming community has more salt than the goddamn ocean. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I need to give this tasty meal some flavor. So let's see what we got. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I thought it was going to get cold at this point. Did my magic headbutt the keyboard? I'm pretty sure that will do it. I'm pretty sure that will do it. Let me taste. There's a little bit of salt, but I think we need more.
Oh, fuck you, Faye.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit? How are you not in fucking school? You kiss your mother with that mouth? It's called you kiss your mother with that fucking mouth? Huh?
I know why he's so curious.
Because the fucking youth system. You shut up when I'm talking to you. You shut your mouth.
Oh, my taste buds are really enjoying the flavor. Wait, I know somewhere where there's plenty of salt. Beefer.
¡De puta! ¡Un puto turco mejor con español, tío! ¡Un puto turco!
Oh! Oh!
¡No! ¡Eres un tormento!
Go on. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh! Oh! That is amazing. Oh! Oh, and he rage quit as well. Oh! That will do nicely. Oh, it's Nick. Oh, this is gonna be amazing. Come on.
Lights!
Yes. Come on. More. I need more, bro. Need more flavor. Come on. What, is that it? That doesn't, how's that? You blue balled me, mate. Come on. Like, oh, shit. I need better salt than that.
So 4 Minuten war die Zeit! Das Spiel ist broke!
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sure. Nice. Oh. Why do people keep headbutting things? It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Free TV is here with Pluto TV. Watch over 100 TV channels of hit movies, sports, live news, comedies, and thousands of movies and shows on demand. No bills, no contracts. Start watching over 100 TV channels for free today.
What is that? Dude, is there somebody there?
Literally behind us.
Oh!
What is up, fam? Welcome to another haunted adventure with your boy Omar. Today I have something really special lined up for you. I know it's been a little while since you see me. I do apologize for that. In case you're wondering, maybe you don't follow my vlog channel. I have been moving, and I'm all moved in now, but right now I'm traveling. Came over here to Delaware to visit my friend CJ. What's up, everybody? If you don't know who he is, I'll leave a link down below. You can go follow him. He makes some pretty lit videos too. But he brought me to a very popular location, some place that he's filmed at before. It's called 3 Mile Road. A lot of tales involved with this road. I'm going to explain a little bit more of that. Hope you're ready for this adventure. Let's do this. Tiffany is really awesome. She's here exploring with us. She's a great friend of mine. Consider her my best friend. And she's exploring with us tonight.
Freezing.
And she's freezing. What? Oh.
I take that little back foot thing. That's like half a cross.
CJ's hearing some noises. So I'm
gonna explain a little bit about 3 Mile Road. Supposedly this road at one time, back in the day, used to connect 2 towns together. This road now is unoperational. But people still come here to do things. There have been reports of people being murdered on this road, a lot of drug deals going on, but CJ did hear a noise. What was it that you heard?
He's not. He's not. He's not.
Really?
I'm not even joking. It looks like something dark across the road, but it has no sound.
Now, have you caught any shadow figures? Because
yeah, I've caught shadow figures here.
Sounds like a car coming.
That's what it sounds like.
He's
See,
like, don't you sneak up on me.
Never seen one actually like come through the road though.
Maybe was it a week or 2 weeks ago?
I think it was like 2 weeks ago now.
Okay, so there was a car parked here, and supposedly this naked girl, full of blood, came up on this car, and when she did, it spooked the car out. They went taking off. They called the cops, and they could never find this girl that was drenched in blood, and they don't know if she needed help or if she was murdered. I mean, they really don't know what happened to this girl. So that's another reason why CJ and I are here. We're gonna figure it out, really. See if, I mean, was that a ghost? I have heard of people appearing like that.
Yeah, I mean, I have too, but I mean, like, it's just crazy. But you know what's crazy about all of this, though? If you actually think, like, real long and hard about this, like the area that.
Are you kidding me?
What's going on, people? I am Kevin Hart, aka Mr. Comedic Rockstar. Cold as balls is on the way. The tub is colder, and my balls are bigger too. Look, I got 2 big balls. Oh! I thought you were talking trash or something. I know that pisses you off. That's why I didn't shake your hand. I'm sorry. Oh! He's falling for it. Stupid. Come here, man. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Baker Mayfield, ladies and gentlemen. Huh? Let's go around here. Let's get in the tub, man. Let's talk before you get all the way in. Sit on the back of the tub, a little small talk first.
Taking me out to dinner first?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not because it's too deep for you to stand in?
That's original. Oh. That's really good, Baker. Jacket. How many balls did you do? I have to do about 2,000. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Church league, so I'm thinking about going back.
Is that flag or tackle?
No, it's a church league. We don't do nothing but catch the ball, then you say a prayer for the person after they catch it. Welcome to an all-new episode of Cold as Balls. I'm talking to the Baker Mayfield. Yeah, there you go. That's your thing?
I was driving a Jeep, so I got a Jeep Wave today.
It might be the stupidest I've ever seen.
Can't see over the wheel.
First and foremost, congratulations, man. Thank you. I know where chips come from. By chips, I'm talking about that thing that's on your shoulder. There you go. I'd be damned if you don't have a hell of a chip. God! Whose phone is that?
Yours.
I told you guys, when I go dramatic, don't do that. Sorry about that, Baker. Now let's go back to this dramatic moment, man. You were a walk-on.
Financially, at the time for my family, walking on to Texas Tech, in-state tuition was the best decision. And was a starter by like the second week of August.
Who was the starter?
Davis Webb. Plays for the Giants now.
So Davis Webb is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But you came and took Davis Webb's spot.
I guess so, yeah.
You suck, Davis. So, you get hurt by Davis. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Davis did it. What happened?
I sprained my MCL.
How?
In game.
Where was Davis?
On the sideline.
Are you sure?
He might have slipped the 20 to the Kansas player, or might
that
not.
Son of a... Let's get in. Let's take a second to get in. I just want to address something real quick. Fellas, I switched it up today because I felt like we were creating racial tension. I always had you on my side, D, because we black. And now I'm realizing that's wrong. I don't want no racial tension. So from now on, Bam Bam, you my best friend. You. Best friends, we do this. Give me one finger. Then go psst. Psst. We got a thing now. How come nobody want to shake your hand? Do your hands stink?
I wash
girls you got. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Now, back to you, B. Do you have a nickname at this stage?
No.
BM. Bowel movement. Cause you just you get hurt, now you go down. Tell me what's the attitude about now?
So, when I was completely healthy, I thought I'd just go right back in and play.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen that way.
So now, that. I ain't staying here.
Well, no, after that, then they told me I wasn't going to get a scholarship.
What?
And so that's when I was like, all right.
No. So you left.
Mm-hmm.
And your plan was just, I'm going to go to Ohio State. I'm going to go to Florida University.
Oklahoma.
Oh, there you go. What were they ranked at the top?
I think they finished top 3.
God damn, man. And in your mind, you said, I'm just going to go there and I got my backpack.
Back to school.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to school and I'm just going to talk to them about when the next practice is and I'll be fine.
It actually kind of somewhat went like that.
What's the conversation with the coach?
Because Texas Tech blocked my transfer in conference, I wasn't able to talk to anybody in the athletic department. So I basically just picked it up, enrolled in class, and I lived in the normal dorms with a very unique person.
Who was he?
His name's Jonathan.
Oh, he sounds like a creep.
So I got there before he came back to campus.
Okay.
And I walked into the dorm. The beds were this far apart. We had Pikachu pillowcase and cloud sheets.
Oh, of course.
Like the sky.
Yeah. Why not? Grown man with Pikachu, that's not a problem, obviously.
And there was like one long coat in his closet.
Oh, God, he was a dick shower. Oh, no. Nobody likes the kid on campus showing his JH's hair. He's about to show his Everybody, close your eyes. It's about to rain.
Can't be serious with this guy, man.
Alright, so let's go.
So I showed up they had Tuesday night dinners. Saw Coach Stoops walk in, and so I walked up to him. I actually said, "Hey, Coach, Baker Mayfield, would love the chance to play here." Right when I got there, I acted like I had been there for years.
Why do you think you have the ability to do that?
I earned their respect during practice and workouts. By the time the next spring rolled around, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna have a quarterback battle." In my head, I was like, "That's the moment I've been waiting for." Yeah.
And you won that competition. How the f*** did you become the Heisman winner?
That's a good question that I don't have the answer to.
Has there ever been a 2-time walk-on that won a Heisman?
There's never been a 1-time walk-on to win a Heisman.
Never.
Ever.
So now let's talk about the next stage. Draft comes up. Oh my God. This number here is a huge number. Right there. Number 1. Give me 1. Bam. What the f*** is your problem? You're over here to break the racial barriers that we had on our show. I'll talk to you in the break room. So, it's an exciting day. Got to go to the draft, but then you chose
trying to not.
Tell me,
literally trying to be serious.
You only have a certain amount of tickets.
Yeah.
I wanted to spend that day with my family, friends.
How many people?
We wound up having about 60 people.
60 people?
They had a couple camera guys in there.
What in the black family function is that? God, that's not white people behavior. Then you get drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Holy shit. What's Cleveland's record last year?
0-16.
Oh, and what?
16.
God!
They went 4-0 in preseason.
Of course they did, 'cause nobody gives a about preseason. What's your mindset going into that?
To me, it's the same thing I've had all along.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. What happened before me doesn't matter. I'm gonna control what I can.
Yeah, but you walked into a good program.
Cleveland historically is good. Like back in your day.
You know, a lot of those Cleveland Browns fans just look defeated in the face. I actually saw a Cleveland Browns fan one time go, "Let's go." Nah, man. Let's get deeper in the tub. So this way, while we're having this conversation, we can possibly freeze to death, and you cannot deal with what you're about to deal with. Oh, white hand. Thanks, white hand. Just give the white hand. White hand, here it comes. So, Cleveland Browns. What do you do if there's a 1-win season?
It's an improvement, honestly.
Are you happy?
No.
Are you...
What the hell is this chest at, damn it? This thing is fucking 6 Minecraft hours in this motherfucker. God, Jesus. There's a jackass in here.
That was my impression of you crying. So, we got a lot of good stuff going for you right now. You recently just got engaged. Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
How long you guys been together?
Not very long.
It was not very long.
Like towards the end of 2017. What was that face for?
Nothing. Nothing at all. It's gonna be great. Did you get engaged fast because you felt like that's the only ring that you're gonna be able to get? What? What'd I say?
No. So, you've been asking me a ton of
Yeah.
Now, I want to see if you really know who I am.
As you can see, I know a lot about you, brother.
We'll start simple. What's my middle name?
Malibu. Hold on.
Reagan.
What?
Reagan.
He set you up to fail. Baker Reagan Mayfield. You were supposed to be a girl.
Defied the odds once again. Who's my favorite musician?
Miley Cyrus. Like a wrecking ball.
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Justin Timberlake song?
Push Your Love, Girl.
Ah, that's a good one. Beggar a freak.
How many touchdown passes did I have last year?
I know this, because I remember you threw the ball twice to him. Yeah, the one time, 8.
43.
What are you doing? What you doing? Get your racism over there. I got a good mind to take these 2 fingers and put them in your nostril and throw your head on the other side of this goddamn set. BM, bowel movement. Can't wait to watch your rise to the top, sir.
Appreciate that.
So go in there and change that program. Are the coaches still there? Is it the same coaches there?
For the most part.
They got it. We're gonna end it on a positive, okay? White hand, give me the flag. That's right. I'm gonna go out with a bang, Baker. This water gets cold, man. I remember when you did this.
No.
Yeah, wait a second. Hold this. Damn, hold this.
Just piss me off, man.
How you do? You're like a ratty kid of football. Here, give it to me. Here you go. Going out with a bang, huh? Oh, take the flag, give me the flag, yeah. Take this. You know I ain't gonna do nothing with it.
They say it happened right over there on the gate. So that's why I like it.
Oh, I did not know that.
You voted. Can I just speak for like both of our viewers? Sure. We're not paranormal investigators. Like we're thrill seekers of anything. You know what I mean? So
I like that. Thrill seekers.
That's literally what I'm out here for.
We should make a shirt that says that. We're not paranormal investigators. We're thrill seekers.
I like it. And it's cold outside. It's 12 degrees.
Did you buy one?
Yeah. Would you buy one? It's a controversy.
Well, CJ said that up ahead is a really cool cemetery.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's like, I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. This is a road that, I mean, obviously it has some history behind it.
I don't know how true this is. I think it's kind of like one of the most wise tales, but there was like a madman pretty much in the woods that would come up and kill you and your girl or whatever. Kids were drinking back here. They get stabbed. I mean, it was all kinds of stuff.
Check this out, because this happened with Proctor Valley Road. It's a place in California. And, I mean, I've seen this happen with a lot of roads where kids visit. Is parents will make up these stories to keep their kids from visiting and doing bad things on these roads. So some of these things we're hearing, because there's so many stories here, and there's a lot of news stories circulating, and maybe those stories get circulated because of that very reason. Parents don't want their kids coming here, so it's out of fear, of course.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out for sure. What are some of the things you've documented here?
All right, so basically the things that I've documented here personally are shadow figures. I've seen 3 or 4 of them, at least 3 or 4 of them. The other thing that I did witness was, well, not witness, but heard, was a girl that, like, literally, it sounded like a blood-curdling scream. Like, I don't know if she got stabbed or whatever.
You caught a scream?
Yeah, we didn't really stick around too long, but, I mean, it was Kevin and I that came here for that, and it was just super creepy, but, I mean, we've seen all kinds of stuff, and actually, when Kevin and I first pulled in on the road, we saw a person, just like a black shadow figure, basically walking right across the road. Up to where that was, I stopped. When I stopped, I got out of the vehicle, and at that point in time, I got back in the vehicle, and when I got in, I shut the door, counted like 3 or 4 seconds later, and it sounded like somebody took like a big pebble and threw it against the back glass of my truck.
What the heck?
So I immediately got out, I took the flashlight, I scanned all around, absolutely nothing whatsoever. So, I
don't know what to say.
Just to give you an idea of what it looks like out here. You can see it's like woods. I hear a dog out there.
You know what I did here one time though? It was like a dog that was really close to like something, but it was like nowhere near.
Like if that makes any sense, it was like.
Dude, it sounded like somebody was like walking next to us. Hello?
Where the fuck is this damn chest at?
I don't know, I think it sounded like one of those trees like getting ready to fall on the ground or something. And they all look dead to me right now. I mean, all trees look dead in the winter, I guess. Anybody out here? You could legit hear a pin drop. It sounded like somebody was walking right behind me right now. That was weird. CJ and I were taking thumbnails, and Tiffany said that she seen a mist right behind
It was like, what? Nobody was over there.
And she's freaking out about it. She's like, I can't stop thinking about that. And then CJ heard a sound. I didn't hear the sound.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like somebody was walking. Going back 2 years. We were taking our thumbnail like this, then you can
Hi guys, I'm Hannah and I'm from Handpicked by Hannah, and today I'm going to be giving you my selling tips. So a lot of times people ask for extra images. Now personally I would approach this, as long as they're not being creepy, by just uploading a separate post to the person that wants the images in that post so that they can see them. A lot of the clothes on my shop are vintage and pre-loved, and sometimes it can be really hard to know exactly what price point they should be at. Personally, I do a little bit of comparison shopping, so see what other similar items are going for. But I also value on them for how much I actually value them personally. A massive part of having a successful Depop shop is to keep the customers happy and keep them coming back. Now, a massive part of this is communication, communication, and communication. It is so key to communicate with the people that you are selling to. And not only that, be nice. If someone's asking you a question, and even if you think it's, a bit irrelevant, answer it and be nice about it. If someone's interested in multiple items, great, do them a deal. Put it in a bundle, do combine postage, and give them a good deal on it.
I gotta find a damn flying shit. The hell?
As soon as you're on that, you get more
There you is, motherfucker.
just more people looking at your shop and looking at the products that you're selling. Now, I remember the first time I got the Explore page, and I'm not gonna lie, I was so excited. I think it was a silk top. Yeah, it was like a patterned silk top. Okay. So you need to make sure that your items are actually coming up when people are searching for particular words. Now, this is really simple. You've just got to use good, relevant words in your description. So, for example, vintage, pre-loved is also a good one within that category. Patterns, that kind of area of words. Also, say the colour of the item that you're selling, also the size, and also maybe the way it fits. And I always like to put in measurements in my descriptions because I know that jeans, for example, just search for waist size. So that's a really good idea. So everyone always talk about buyer's remorse, but personally I get seller's remorse. And this is where I just regret selling the beautiful items that I have sold. But I get over this by reminding myself that I am selling sustainable items, reminding myself I only have a very limited amount of space in my wardrobe and those jeans just weren't going to fit in, and reminding myself that I do get a bit of cash at the end of it as well. Negotiation is a really big part of Depop. Now you do get some messages that are just ridiculous where they pay the same day as they're possibly buying the item, say to them, I can post it today, I can post it first class, it'll be with you tomorrow or the day after. And this is quite nice to get people excited about actually receiving the item, and that quite often works. So I hope these seller's tips helped you, and now it's time for you to go and check out my shop, handpicked by Hannah. Thanks, guys.
What the hell was that?
What was that?
That was so loud.
Oh my. Please tell me both of you heard that.
Sounded like a tree falling. Maybe a tree.
Oh, we're gonna skip the beats right now.
Dude, I think I see like a figure. We're close to the cemetery, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep walking. I don't know if it was an animal. It was a deer. What? Oh, my camera's not really blurry.
Like literally all around us.
Didn't you say something about a phantom dog too?
Yeah, because I'm starting to hear a dog getting closer and closer again. That's the second time this has happened.
Dude, I think it's like growling.
You're right, dude. You can hear a pin drop out here.
But that's so close. This where it's at? Hey, maybe, see that tree? Maybe that sound was that tree that fell. Okay, yeah, it's been sitting there for a while.
You are in my
You're so smart, CJ. Did I mention that it's like -2 degrees Fahrenheit right now? I mean, my fingers are about to fall off.
Visitors are freaking international.
I do have some cliffhangers.
You know what's weird?
They call them that?
I'm dead serious. They call them visitors, dude.
I don't know if I mentioned that already, but CJ said that there's reports of lots of shadow people that have been seen on this road, on 3 Mile Road.
It's like I always see.
They're like, they comment below and they're like, there's something right there, and I'm like literally trying to find it.
Let me ask you this: have you walked the whole 3 miles?
No, never have. It's like always ended really.
That's how I felt earlier. I felt like there was somebody walking behind me, and I looked and there was nobody there. Are we close to the cemetery?
Oh, where are the certain things? Oh, that's hot.
Sounds like a plan, huh? Let's do this.
Oh, spin move on me. Spin
The
move.
cemetery back here dates back to when this road was operational, and it's just like in the middle of the woods. It's crazy. So I'm gonna show it to you. I'm not sure if it's haunted, but I know the road is haunted, so I don't know. I kind of feel like every cemetery is haunted. Whoa, got caught in a tree. So let's go out here. Oh shit. Okay. I want you to touch my hand.
You are.
It's really cold.